All right, guys, we're going to check out this Luminox, and this is the 911 Never Forget model. So before we get started on this, I have to say a big thanks to my buddy Dirk. He actually picked one of these up. These are limited edition, had it shipped over to me before he even got a chance to see it. So as soon as I get done with this video, I'm going to box it up and ship it right back out to Dirk so he can have it in his collection. So also, you'll notice that two things. This video is not monetized, and there's no comments down below. So I don't really need to explain myself on either of those. I think you're smart enough to figure that out. Now let's look at the watch. So what we have here, before we do anything, we'll look at the hang tag. This is the XS.3501.BO.NF. So the XS3500 series, that's basically this model style of watch. The BO, I think, is a blackout, so meaning that it has the blacked out Arabics other than the 9 and the 11. And then, of course, the minute, hour, and second hand is also blacked out. So pretty stealthed out watch, and you can get, I think, unless they're sold out, but sometimes you can get variations of it in the blacked out series, you know, a non-memorial or special edition. And then the NF is for Never Forget. The retail price on this, I believe, is $4.95. I'll put a link in the description down below, and you can click on that and check that out. Also, Luminox, a percent of the proceeds of the sales of these watches are going to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. I'll see if I can find a link to that foundation as well, and put a link in the description. And I know, right? They could have probably sold more, and that would have generated more proceeds to go to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, but these are limited to 911 pieces. So, I mean, it all kind of plays together. It's still a pretty cool thing that they're doing, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, I'm sure all of them are going to sell out, and hopefully Luminox will be able to make a pretty sizable donation to the Tunnel of Towers Foundation. So that's really cool. All right, so 45mm watch, not including the bump here or this, you know, crown guards. We usually don't measure those, right? So I measured from the 40 to the 10 up here, and you get 45mm. The lug to lug is a 51. The height is 14.5 to the top of the flat mineral crystal. It is a hardened, so it has like a higher Vickers rating. I forget what it is. It's a decent amount, so it should be like pretty tough, but you know, it is a mineral crystal, so it is easier to scratch than, say, sapphire. 24mm lug width there. If you're not familiar with 24mm lug width on Luminox is pretty common. That's kind of their jam. That's their gig. 8mm screw down crown. You know, I remember some of the earlier models of the Luminox had a push-pull crown, and they still claimed 200-meter water resist. So now they're doing a screw down crown, and that piece, I believe, is metal. I don't know if that's carbon or not. Kind of feels like metal. The rest of this case is called carbon compound case design and the bezel. So it is some sort of pressurized or formed carbon type material. Weighing in at 72 grams is what I have it weighed down as. And I like this. This is a newer style strap that they're using. This is actually, it seems like it's a little bit better quality than some of the old ones. I know some people had complained that some of the straps, although really good, maybe didn't last very long. As is the complaint sometimes with the movement. I've even, way early on in my channel, I picked up off like a Facebook Marketplace or something, or somehow like that, in one of the groups, resale groups back in the day, a used Luminox, and I thought it was just the battery. It turned out needing a movement. Well, the movements for these, you can pick them up on Esslinger for like 12 bucks. You know, you have to get the right one because you have the tritium tubes, and the tritium tubes add thickness or depth to the center post, so you have your spacing so the hands don't hit each other. I believe the movement is the Ronda 517, which is like 12 bucks. I remember doing it and fixing it. I think I did a couple of videos on it. I don't remember how good they are or anything, but so worst case scenario, if for some reason the movement dies, you can fix these yourself, you know, or you can send it to an authorized repair center, which would be like Saltzman's or something. But then I know people complain that that repair costs about 150 bucks, you know, and they're like, well, what the heck? But, you know, there's labor involved, you know, setting the hands and resetting the dial on to the movement and everything. So it's a little more involved than most people want to enter into. So you're going to pay someone for that specialty. That's just the way that works. Just wanted to cover that because I know I get the comments on my Luminox videos. Yes, I'm aware that they're inexpensive Swiss quartz movements. They have 1 jewel in them, and sometimes they fail. But they're making, I don't even know. I mean, a ton of these movements. So you're going to have a certain amount that fail. That's just the way it is. There's also testimony of people with Luminox watches that have had no problems with them for a long, long time. So it's all just a numbers thing, guys. There's problems with all kinds of movements out there. So this does have the tritium tubes. I will try to show those, but if we zoom in here, you can see obviously that 9 and the 11 are also white, but they're also lumed, which you don't see too many Luminox watches, especially in this style, with actual like luminova. That usually they focus primarily on the never dark aspect of it, which would be just the tritium tubes. Now they're not using the T100 tubes, and I agree with most people's gripe on that. I would like to see the T100 tubes as well. So their Luminox definitely has room for improvement, and I think they're moving in the right direction. I've looked at quite a few of their watches. I have another one right here in the background. So here's a look at the case back. It is 4 screws holding it down the case back. And you have the Never Forget, and you have both towers there. An actual numbered limited edition, 462 of 911 on this one. And there's all the other info. Let's pop this guy on wrist, and then let's try to do the lume shot. Before I do that, it is a 60-click bezel. And it's very like snappy and easy to, I don't want to say easy to turn, but it's good to turn. There's like very little play. There's a slight amount of play in it, but it's snappy, precise, and lines up. So no gripes there. Let's pop this on my 7 1/4 inch wrist so you can see what it looks like. I'm liking the strap. It's not too sticky or anything, so it's easy to fit through both these. And actually they have like little keepers on them, so you can kind of lock them in place. And then you have, that's got to be metal clasp and everything, but there it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. It's, guys, real world to my eyes, looking at my wrist, like it looks, feels, and wears great. So hopefully it's not coming across as like this monstrosity of a watch. 45 by 51 is not a small watch, I get it. But it wears really good because it only weighs 72 grams. And this is an excellent strap. It does taper down a little bit too. And then it has, I mean, you can see how easy it is to manipulate. So pretty easy to get on and off. So genuine rubber, it says. And I noticed there's, oh, okay. So you got this floating keeper up here, and then this one has like a couple little nubs there to stop it. So yeah, and this is stainless steel. All right, here's the Eco one right next to it. Very similar case. I'll have to take some measurements. It might actually be the exact same measurements, but this is supposedly made out of recycled material, whereas this is like a pressed carbon type material. So should be both the same movements and everything like that. And what's the retail on this one? $545. So a little bit more money to be environmentally friendly, I guess. I don't know. All right, let's kill the lights and see what kind of reaction we got here. This little flashlight I have off to the side, so you can see a little bit, but I have this little flashlight here that's, there you go. So you can see at the, of course, the 9 and the 11 are lumed, and then you have your orange at the pip and at the 12. And then also at the 9 and 11, you have green tritium tubes. The rest of the tritium tubes are white, as is the hour, minute, and second hand. So once your eyes adjust to tritium watches in the dark, my camera's going to have a hard time doing it, guys, but once your eyes adjust to it, like to the naked eye, it's extremely visible, and it'll be that way for like 25 years. It's not like lumed watches where it fades over time, but they're better initially. These tritium tube watches are very fun. If you've never tried a tritium tubed watch, give it a shot. There's tons to choose from. It doesn't have to be Luminox, but definitely check them out. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next vid.